Hi everybody, it's Stephanie from Squiggle Sisters, and today I'll be showing you my meal planning system. I've always been a meal planner at heart, but it took me a long time to find something that worked for me in my planners because I love to carry it around with me when I go to the grocery store, but my Erin Condren just never fit in my purse, so that's why I love my Traveler's Notebook. It really fits my meal planning system. So this is my Traveler's Notebook from the Planner Society. I just finally got it set up this past weekend at a planner social that we did. So I was super excited. Look at all these gorgeous florals. Okay, so my meal planning system is uses these inserts. These are from So Much Crafting, and it's her week on a page with a grid on the other side, and I'm going to show you kind of my process on how I use this, because for me this is the perfect system. So please let me know if you have any questions. Write me in the comments below because I would love to go into this further. This is just going to be a quick overview into how I kind of do it. So I'm going to go ahead and take my insert out just so it's a little easier to write. Keep that up there. Okay, so today I'm going to use pencil, which is very different for me, but makes it a little easier. So what I do is, I'm not, like I've mentioned in my previous videos, I'm not a big, oh, this meal has to be on Monday and this has to be on Tuesday. I kind of make like a general plan about like the meals that I have available to make throughout the week. And I do take into consideration what my week looks like. If there's a lot of days that I work in the evenings, I tend to make like crock pot meals, so it's easier for my husband and my kids, if I'm at work in the evenings. So I do take that into consideration. This week I am home every single night, so it makes it super easy to be able to come, to be able to cook in the evenings. So I went ahead and, for the purposes of this video, kind of did like a dirty plan in my Happy Planner, just so I wouldn't be stumbling about trying to find my recipes, because it does take me a while. Oh, and like I mentioned in a previous video, this is an old insert that I just really wanted to be able to use. So I might find a sticker to like cover these up, but for these purposes, I'm just gonna scratch them out. So this is for this week, and I am filming this late, but the dates don't necessarily matter. It's more just about the process. So before I do my meal planning, I kind of know what I have on hand in my fridge, like, do I have a lot of stuff that I need to use up, or in my pantry. So I knew I had like a ton of bell peppers and onions, so I decided we're gonna do quesadillas, and those are really big in my house because it's a nice, easy way to sneak in a ton of vegetables, but also kind of have like a fun night. We, do chips and salsa, chips and guacamole, because my sons love guacamole, and so do I, for that matter. So, anytime I write down a meal, so I know like one time this week we're gonna do quesadillas, this is what I kind of do with my grid. Now, I am a huge Aldi shopper. If you have not tried Aldi, I highly suggest it, because there are some great products available for, and I'm not kidding, 50% less than your regular grocery store. So I grew up shopping at Aldi, and admittedly, when I was a kid, it was a totally different store. It was almost shameful to shop there, but it is not the same store that it was 10 years ago, and I really urge you that if you're struggling to stay on your grocery budget, that you check it out. They are rapidly expanding across the nation, and I do not have enough nice, positive things to say about that store. I love it. So in my neck of the woods, every Aldi is set up very similar, which is great because you always pretty much know where everything's going to be. So on my grid sheet, I set up my list just kind of divided up by aisle that Aldi has. So when I walk in, I know the pantry aisle is always first, and then it is followed by the dairy section. The meats are close by. And yes, even some of their meats are still good. I don't necessarily buy all my meat there, but you know, if you haven't tried it, I suggest that you try it. Once again, it's not the same store that it was back in the 90s. So, and even their produce. Granted, it depends what store you go to, because some stores I find aren't as stringent on quality control, but at least the ones in my neighborhood are very clean and very strict about what they allow in their produce section. So I'm very lucky to have a well-run store in my neighborhood. So this is how I kind of divide up my grocery list into the different sections at Aldi, and then per recipe I will write down my ingredients. So for this first recipe, you know, for my quesadillas, I know that and I'm very familiar with the recipes that I'm picking. So if you're not as familiar, you know, I would suggest bouncing back and forth between your grocery list and your recipes. You know, sometimes I do have to go back to my recipe and see what I need. So like I know for quesadillas, I'm gonna need some more wraps. I know that I am out of like shredded cheese. And I kind of shorthand my lists too. They don't have to be perfect. This is not about perfection. This is about functionality. And that's why I don't use stickers on this page. I don't use, you know, fancy pens. Of course you could totally color code it and get really fancy. But for me, this is like the one area of my planning that is just completely functional and there's no frills about it. And that's just what works for me. So, you know, feel free to alter your method as needed. You know, so, and then this week we're gonna make chicken quesadillas because I know that I have a bunch of chicken in my freezer that I'm gonna use. So I don't need to write that down. Yeah, so, and like I love that recipe because look, I only needed 2 things and I know I have a ton of stuff that I need to use up in my fridge already. So really economical. You know what? No, I'm trying 2 new recipes this week. I try to do a new recipe once a week just for fun for me because I love cooking. So one of the new ones is going to be Philly style grilled cheese. And it sounded like really sloppy and really good. The weather is cooling off this week in Ohio. And when it cools off, that means I want to cook. If it's hot, I don't cook. I will barely be in the kitchen. I really hate the heat. So I'm excited to be cooking this week. So like this, I know I'm going to need provolone. I know in the meat section, I'm going to need ground beef. And my Aldi just started carrying organic grass-fed beef, which was so exciting. And it's actually very reasonably priced. So I was going to try that this week because I haven't had a chance to try it yet. And again, this recipe is going to use up my bell peppers and my onions. So that's a nice way to use that up. And then I think the only other veggie I wanted was to add in some mushrooms. My husband loves mushrooms, so I'm going to appease him by adding those in there. Let's see. Oh yeah, and we have bread at home, so I won't need any of that. Okay, and the second new recipe I was going to try is the crispy honey chicken, which sounded kind of fun. Something a little, I don't usually make a bunch of fried food, so that's kind of different, and I'm kind of excited to try it. And for that recipe, I know I have a ton of chicken, like I said. You know, I have the flour that I need. So really all I need for that is, you know, I do need some more honey because I'm almost out. I use a lot for my tea, and some soy sauce because you need like a little bit of soy, I guess. So I'm gonna pick that up, and I don't know, if chicken is on sale, I might grab a little bit more just to kind of keep up my fridge stock. And I already have, I think we were gonna throw it over some brown rice, and I already have brown rice at home. So this, wow, this is a really short list. Like I said, I'm trying to use up a lot of stuff that we have already at home. So let's see, that one's done. And then we're gonna do, one night we're gonna do tortellini and some chicken sausage, because my kids love the tortellini from Aldi. They don't like sauce on it. They just like the tortellini with like a little bit of Parmesan sprinkled on top. So I will do that, and I like to add in the chicken sausage. And last but not least, oh, and some broccoli. I need more frozen. They have like the steamable broccoli at Aldi, so I'm gonna do that. And then I think one of the last meals is gonna be, we're gonna do breakfast for dinner. Blueberries are on sale this week at my Aldi, and I love making blueberry pancakes. So I think we're gonna have a fun breakfast for dinner night. And then I don't plan 7 meals because I know we need to eat leftovers, you know, at least 2 of those nights. So I really only pick out 5 meals. So, and then any like staples that I know, usually in my kitchen, I have a dry erase board. So if I run out of something that is like a staple in my kitchen, I just write it down, and then I go over to my list and transfer that list to here. So like on my dry erase board right now, I know like milk is low, kids snacks, peanut butter, and yeah, I think that was about it. So that is kind of my process as far as getting my grocery list ready to go to the store. I never go to the store without a list. I used to, and that always failed me completely. I would always spend double the money. It never failed. So kudos to those of you who can go to the store without a list. I must lack self-control, and this is the only way to keep myself in check. So I hope you liked kind of learning maybe what might be a different process for you. You know, of course, please let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I would love to answer any questions, or if there's something that you would like to see, please let me know. I would love to kind of dive into this a little bit more if you guys are interested. I will post the links to the recipes that I used. I think I only have recipes for these 2 new ones, so I'll link those down below. And I will link the So Much Crafting shop on Etsy for her inserts, because I love these. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed watching, and until next time, we'll see you later. Thank you.